Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I'm Mantis.
and today we interrupt your regularly scheduled doom scrolling to bring you a video. We kind of not our normal day for recording, but a lot of images just got released, seeing as yesterday was the first day of filming in Cleveland for the Superman movie. So we wanted to kind of discuss about these images and what we've gotten so far. So, Mantis, are you ready?
Let's take a look.
All right, let's get into it. All right, guys. So here in the last week or so, we have been bombarded with images of from the new Superman movie from the set. They just started filming in Cleveland yesterday. The part of Cleveland, not that they just started filming the movie. I don't want somebody
Hmm.
calling me out in the comments there. But the
Hmm.
Cleveland portion of filming, yeah, sort of, and we got quite a few different pictures. Some look professional, others look like if I took them with my phone,
Hmm.
didn't come out
Yep.
too stable and clear. So we put together the best of them here, and we're going to kind of go over it now. We have done multiple other videos of the super suit. Obviously, when we got the first image, and it didn't go over very well with a lot of people. We tried to give our opinion on the design of the suit, and a lot of people did not like what we had to say about it because they thought the suit looked terrible and the movie is going to suck. So what we're going to do this time, we're just going to talk about what we see in the pictures. We're not giving opinions on, oh my God, we think this suit looks amazing or it sucks or whatever. We're just going to talk about what we see in the images. And then let you guys, because we've learned we're not going to help make your mind up for you. If you already hate the suit, you already hate the fucking suit. There's nothing we're going to say. So
Hmm.
let's start with first image here, and um, I gotta say I like the color of the suit better than the first image we got. Was obviously dark, battle worn. So it is nice to see the actual more of the red and blue, the lighter colors. However, we do still see the baggy parts on the arms. And I definitely we're missing those Man of Steel abs that we got to see with Henry Cavill there. We don't got that yet. He looks like if you put me in the super suit right now.
I mean, it kind of looks like something's there, but it's hard to tell. And again, this is the same. This is the same suit we saw from the one picture that we discussed in a previous video. And you're right here. And I don't know if it's just because these is out, from outside shots, outside filming, and the sun. So the colors pop a little bit better. Could be the camera that they're using. And but you're right. Like it pops. Like his suit pops a little bit more here. Um, and you do get to see a little bit more of the belt and the undies, the outies. I don't know how you technically they're outie, but you get to see that. And I again, this is the first picture that you get to kind of see him standing in, and in the suit, and just from an objective perspective, because I was telling Cal this before we start recording, he looks the part to me. In these photos. So
Well, and I think, and again, I'm not going to try to convince anybody. I'm not anything, but I think there is a noticeable improvement on the fit compared to the first image. Now, again, we have no idea what was going on in that first image. It was taken from a regular camera, like somebody with a camera on set. That wasn't the in shot. That's why there's no post production or anything. But I think we can all agree that it fits better and it looks better than it did in that first image, right? So
mm-hmm.
we're getting there. Again, we don't know what's going on. We don't know. Obviously, this is out of filming, right? They're the guys standing there. They're probably going over. Maybe they're going to tighten some things up. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do still see those little areas. Now, in this next shot here, again, even more so, I think the colors are popping, like especially the red on the symbol is
Mm-hmm.
really intense. But
Could be
we
contrast on
see
the camera.
it could, but we see a lot more problems with the suit than we saw in the first picture we just discussed. Okay, so I'm
Mhm.
not exactly sure what's going on with the chest, but it does seem like it's just kind of bulged out and it's not really form fitting. And then the arms are looking a little rough. I don't know if he's
Here's
getting
what
ready
I'll
to do
say.
some wire work.
Look, it was 93 degrees up in Dearborn, like above, like the I forget what city it was. I was listening to the radio. Some guy was doing a podcast from like northern Michigan, and he was like, "It's 93 degrees in northern Michigan," and they're filming this in Cleveland, which is kind of in the same distance from the equator, right there. A little bit, maybe a little bit warmer in Cleveland than up northern Michigan, but like, dude, he's got to be roasting. And in this picture, you see Mr. Terrific there as well, and he's wearing leather, a leather jacket. Like they have got to be roasting in that stuff.
I don't know how he's doing that. Now, I will say with Mr. Terrific there, this is our first shot we're actually getting of him. The
Mhm.
jacket instantly reminded me of Mr. Terrific from Arrow on the CW. Right? Looks. I won't say it looks identical,
Identical.
but it looks like as soon as I saw it, I was like immediately I gravitated. I was like, oh, they kind of have the
Mhm.
similar aesthetic to the one from Arrow. Now I haven't seen
Yeah.
Arrow at least the episodes with Mister Terrific in a while, so I could be crazy. And I count on you guys to let me know in the comments. But I could be crazy, but it definitely does. But the suit, as we go through these pictures, obviously it gets a little more worrisome, and then it
Mhm.
lessens. So we're just kind of again we're going to go through and kind of point out what we've seen thus far from the suit. Now,
Yeah. What
this go ahead.
I just was gonna comment on Mr. Terrific part here because since he's included in the pictures and we're discussing everything we see in the pictures, um, this is the exact suit or outfit that Mr. Terrific has in the comics. But the only thing that's weird, I guess, because I'm assuming this is supposed to be Michael Holt as Mr. Terrific. The mask that he's wearing in a lot of the pictures in the comics that I've saw, that's supposed to come down over his mouth, like basically like
It's supposed to be a
here,
whole T. Yeah.
yeah, right, and it's not, at least that I can tell from these pictures. Not saying that's maybe he's a young Mr. Terrific, maybe he hasn't, or maybe this is a lower version of the nanotech that he wears, with the mask that kind of can change into whatever. Like, isn't that one of his things? Like his suit, like all of that is like he can just be in disguise when he wants, and then boom, it's off, right? Um,
And again, I know most people don't want to wait for it, but that will probably be added in post, right? Like they
yeah.
probably got just something on there to give a place marker for when they go to add it in post. When it kind of like oh my god, guys, in game Tony Stark, they that suit they just digitally shown up on him and just
You're
added in
telling
post production.
you're telling me they didn't have a cool nanotech suit that jumps and flies on him like that? That sucks, man. Lied to my
unfortunately,
whole life.
unfortunately, they did not. Um,
Damn.
but we get another shot with Mister Terrific, except we get the whole backside of his suit, and yeah,
Mhm.
um, I would be fucking dying in this heat. It's
Yes.
about the same temperature as it is here that is there. Um, we get to see the suit again in a more stretched, like him actually standing in it, and there are a
Hmm.
couple spots you see right around the bend of the kneecap. Obviously, the elbows are a continued problem, and the stomach area is looking a little baggy. Again,
Hmm.
don't know what's going on in these shots here. I will say we talked about it the very first uh, video we did of the first image. I still like the designs on the suit, regardless of what you think about how it fits and stuff. I still like those design, the pattern, like on it. Like I said, it's got like
Hmm.
that the the new 52 kind of look to it. That's just I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it works. With the S, um, you know, I think the whole aesthetic of taking, and we talked about this, taking multiple features from multiple suits and putting it into one. I like how they did that. And you're right, like those same, I won't say defects, are still kind of in all of these pictures as well. So we're gonna see. I mean, it's not going to change. It's not like, oh, in 3 weeks he's going to be wearing a better suit because they had time to fix it. Like, that's not what's going to happen, guys. Every picture you see from here on out of it is going to look the same. And you know,
Now this is the first
that
one
just
that we've looked at, like of this group here today, that we get to see the boots. I will say there
mhm,
is a notable improvement to how the boots look in this one versus when he's putting the boot on in the first image that we got a while back ago. These
mhm.
boots do look a lot better. There are still some,
They do
and it's
have the fur.
yeah, they do have the fur. You need the boots with the fur. There are some right towards the heel. There's a couple of things, but that from the picture, it's kind of difficult to tell. They could just be some debris in the way because clearly we're not in. I don't know. Maybe that is just how Cleveland looks. They just filmed it. I don't know what's going on. Sorry for
It
anybody
could
who's in
be.
Cleveland. I'm just joking.
It could
Uh,
be how Cleveland looks. I don't think so. It would have saved them a lot on the set pieces. But yeah, no, yeah, you're right. And one other thing about that picture till we move on is the cape is like at his height. Like it's not a short cape. It goes all the way
yes,
down.
I do love that. I love that we're back to that older. I like that long. Like I mean, literally, it's damn near touching the ground. Um,
Yeah.
And then in the next shot here, we get to see a Ghostbuster talking to Mister
Yeah.
Terrific and Superman. And again, we see the boots. Boots are looking. I mean, I think they look pretty good there. Again, it's kind of further away, but
Hmm.
we're still seeing that bagginess around the stomach area, right? Um, Again, don't know what's going on in the scene. I can't imagine they're gonna put a freaking flight harness on him or something. So maybe they had to have, who the fuck knows. Turns out I don't make these movies, so I don't really know there. I don't know what the fuck this guy is. What is on his back here? It does. Mantis had said it looked like a proton pack. That's immediately what it kind of goes to. Um,
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe
it's
it's one of those things. I know I have this happen. Maybe it's after lunch break and he just took a big shit, and so it let out a little space in the suit. Where he was a little bloated.
yeah, could
He
be.
had some Taco Bell, shat it out, and now they got to like readjust the suit, and that's what Proton Pack's there to do. We don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Another one, we kind of get him looking up. We see the military police Hummer. You'll see in the later picture that it will say military police on it. Again, still looking. I mean, I love the collar look here. Everything's fitting better there, except right in that arm area. Right, we're getting the bagginess on the bins. Right, which is always where the suit is folding up. It's not as skin tight. Now, I will say when you go back and look at Man of Steel, when they are doing the filming, like, and you see some of the kind of the behind the scenes filming part, that suit, because it is super super thin, other than the muscle suit and stuff like that, and the outer part of the suit was designed to be super thin, so it showed those metallic muscles and the muscle suit that was underneath of it, so it didn't
Mhm.
bunch up quite as bad because it was just such thin material. Where this one, you can definitely tell is a thicker suit, right?
Mhm.
Which is another thing a lot of people had an issue with, is it looks thicker and rubbery ish. It's not quite what we're used to seeing from the Man of Steel.
Yeah, it's you know, I think maybe the older characters that just wear tights or cloth suits that don't provide really any aesthetics or pop off, like guns pop out or anything like that, like in modern filmmaking it almost looks out of place. Like because you brought up Tony Stark, right? Like, well, we're in the 21st century. Like he's wearing a futuristic suit, with all types of gizmos, computer integration, AI, all of these like weapon systems. Like it makes sense to kind of do something cool like that on screen and on film, and it makes sense to be, in our time period that we're making films. But again, Superman and Batman, for that degree, are both really old characters. Like Superman, again, we discussed this before, is you know really old. So like the fact that you have to take a character that wears a suit kind of like that, that's supposed to be kind of flamboyant but really doesn't provide much, like, into a current movie. It's hard to do that without it looking I'm not dumb, but just kind of out of place.
Well, and I feel
If that
like
makes sense.
maybe that's why they went with that new 52 where it has the designs on it, right? Because just a
Hmm.
leotard of blue with some undies and stuff, yeah, it's kind of like, all right, that's not it's not cool, bro. Like we're in
Yeah, just out of place.
2024. Um, you
Yeah,
you
which
would
is
have
why.
more aesthetic.
Yeah, which is why I think the Man of Steel suit everyone kind of didn't really bitch about too much because it looked futuristic, right? Um,
That
and
it's
this,
Henry Cavill in there. I mean, we're not going to hate on anything the
right?
man's wearing, okay? And that's coming from a straight guy, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
uh,
yeah. I mean, yeah, he looked good in the suit, and like again, like I said, David Cornsweet looks the part. He looks like Superman. Well, we haven't really got any shots of him as Clark Kent yet, but he does look like Superman.
I feel like just looking at him, no offense to him, but I feel like he can pull off nerdy, so I'm not really that worried that he's gonna not be able to pull
Sure.
off the nerd. Now in this next shot here, this is probably my favorite that we've gotten thus far, is because the cape hides any of the issues you guys are seeing with the bagginess, right? But I love seeing the yellow S there, the long
Mhm.
cape. Even though it is more of the Kingdom Come S that we're seeing, um, but I love that shot. Obviously, they got the umbrellas up blocking because again, 100-degree heat, with the heat index. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
fucking roasting in that suit. Um, but I do love that shot. That's actually my favorite of the whole group that we got.
Yeah, I know we hadn't really discussed if the cape was going to have the symbol on it in the first video we did, but now we obviously can't confirm that that is the case because there is pictures of it on there. So that's I agree. I like that. I like how they didn't put like the S being red. It's just completely yellow. I like that design choice there. So
Yeah, I think it gives a good look of just having the symbol. Now, the next one, and guys, don't hate me for it. I don't know. I'm assuming the way that the article read, we got Lois coming out of a pod, and Perry White is following directly behind her. Now, the article had stated it says she's during filming she is descending the steps. So I'm assuming that's some kind of pod that brought them into this battleground. We see all this damage around. However, I did tell Matt, said if that is a set trailer, that thing is bitching because it looks
uh,
pretty badass. um,
yeah, it could be like the exit door of some craft, whether that's some weird LexCorp craft or like because maybe a lot of times too, depending on how the film is like storyboarded or screenboarded, like maybe they're doing like this is a part of a bigger plane, but they're not going to show the whole plane. That would be CG. They're just going to just show the one section of them coming out of the plane, and that's all they needed to film. So that's why it looks just like a one section of it. Who
Well, and it is
knows?
definitely an airtight door. You can see, right? Very thick door. The
Yeah.
door's coming up, similar to what some planes do. That would go in. It also could be a spacecraft because the other thing is, unless it is a futuristic plane, you're in all around all the debris. Now maybe the plane crashed, which has been a
Yeah.
Superman thing. He's always saving a plane from crashing. Um,
Well, also this movie has plenty of other superheroes in it as well. So we have to kind of take that into account. Not saying this is a Green Lantern thing because it's clearly not green, but it could be some sort of other spacecraft from another Kryptonian or another. You just don't know.
I could make it green in
Could be
post.
Lex made it.
Yeah, it could
Could
be something like that. We don't know. Like,
yeah.
again, we're just getting still images here. But I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, is that part of the movie? Because they say, like, I'm like, she's just in the steps. I'm like, is that a set trailer? Because that thing would be awesome. But I don't think it is because it
Yeah.
looks airtight. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
just me being stupid. I was just joking. Now we get a shot of a kind of a wide angle shot. We see obviously there's some military police. We see some ambulances and police. A lot of destruction going on. So we know we're either in a battle or we are dealing with the road construction in our area where we live because that's about how our
Mhm.
roads look naturally. Um,
Yeah, that's how
so
the highway looks.
yeah,
Actually,
it's kind of like on
um,
Ghostbusters when he said, "There's so many holes in the middle of Fifth Avenue, we just didn't think anybody would notice." That's how I feel sometimes. So that's what we're
yeah,
getting here. Um,
yeah, yeah. This is a some sort of battle or afterwards, maybe, because there are a lot of military people, extras that are in military garb. There's military vehicles, there's ambulance, emergency services here. So something either is going down or just went down, and they're kind of, this is the aftermath. So
I so and I could be 100% wrong. It's not to say it's not, but it's weird because it's just so bright out that, like, it's weird seeing these scenes. You usually think of them being at like the nighttime or when it's darker out, not like high noon. It looks like it's a beautiful day in Cleveland, and then you just have all this destruction. But maybe again, maybe this is aftermath. It's the next day. Maybe they're gonna. I mean, hell, I can make in post production. I can make the sky. I can make it dark and cloudy out and just cover up all the stuff that's not shadowed. Who knows? Maybe they did do a battle right in one of the most beautiful days of the summer so far. In Metropolis, and then, you know what? We're just gonna have this. That fucking servitor is out there just wreaking havoc. We don't.
True. Yeah. It again. These pictures again. Just trying to infer what we see. Again, I was trying to see if Cal could get a better quality version of this same picture, because there's two banners that are on this light pole, and I want to know what they say because it kind of give a clue maybe to what's going on in the scene or some other link to something else in the movie of what's going on. But you can't make it out. You just see kind of like a bird on there. It looks like a bird to me, but you can't read anything that it says.
It is two birds, so I was able to zoom in enough to see the clear shot of the birds. I can't get a clear enough shot to actually read what's going on. But if I have one, I will add it in post here because I'm still going to look.
It'd be cool. Those little things kind of pop out, because I know there's a couple of them we're going to do at the end of this that show the Daily Planet, bookstore, all those things that you may not have caught, but kind of maybe lend some little Easter eggs or what could be going on in the future in this film.
Now, in the next one, we see, this is where we had mentioned, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this one, but we see that the Humvees are military police. And the only reason why we bring this up, because some of the first shots that we had got, that we did another video on, where you see like these crates that said LexCorp and some of the, or Luther Corp, sorry, said Luther Corp, and we had some military looking vehicles. I was waiting to see if they actually said Luther Corp, but these do just say military police.
Yeah, I noticed that the guy, the extra there that's got the military uniform on, why do they always put silencers on all the weapons? It's so funny. Like, in all the news movies, it's like, oh, we got to put the silencer on everything. It makes it look cool. Why do you have I mean, I don't know what's going on, but clearly it's not like it's some at night mission where no one knows they're there, where they're at. Like, it's in the middle of the day. There's debris everywhere. There's multiple military vehicles. I don't know why you have a silencer on your weapon.
Now, if you ever saw the movie Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, one thing I love that director's known for is his realistic sound effects, especially how guns sound. Because when you're firing a gun in close proximity, when you got buildings on both sides, you're in a narrow, because they were in like a narrow alleyway when he shoots. Fuck. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that one in particular, but like the gun he obviously had when he's shooting is very loud and echoes, right? So you get an assault rifle. Now, when I say assault rifle, I don't mean an AR-15 that everybody just wants to think the AR stands for assault rifle. This is a military weapon here.
Most likely an M16.
Yeah, I can't make it out too good. And guys, I'm not going to zoom into because this is not what we're focused on. But, maybe they have it on there because it's going to be loud as shit if you did have to shoot it within, the buildings on both sides. You're kind of down a more narrow pathway and you got civilians around. Maybe keep it a little quieter, but it also just looks cool, man. We just silenced the shit, right? All right. Just gives us that like we're a fucking sniper look. Now, here we do get the better shot of the Daily Planet, right? Where it's not just the book score. And that's where, if you saw our previous video we just did on it, where we said, that's probably a, smaller store with it, or, the bookstores within the big ass Daily Planet building you would have seen. That was probably a secondary entrance, where this definitely looks like the main entrance to the Daily Planet.
Yeah, this looks much better. This looks like how I would envision it.
Now, This next shot here, we got a couple from there where because these were the shots they're showing them just doing up some of the buildings in Cleveland here. Uh, if you've watched the Flash TV show on the CW, you should know Jitters, okay? Because that's where Iris worked in the first few episodes. Well, I mean, for a while there, but where we see it in the first episode where Barry wakes up from his coma and he goes to see Iris at Jitters, and she's working there. So it's nice to know that they're franchised, right?
Yeah,
They're in
yeah.
Central City,
It's a
and they're
very
in
interesting
Metropolis.
thing. Yeah, like why is that in there? Is that just a throwback to that, or is it like? I
That's what
mean,
I'm
does this
going
play
with.
a bigger part? Yeah, I mean,
It
I guess if
could.
you're gonna have a coffee shop, why not just make it fun like that, right? Like, why
A
not?
chain that you're going to see in the other cities. Like if we go to Coast City, obviously Central City, you're going to see a Jitters everywhere. That's the only
Yeah,
coffee. Fuck
it's where
Starbucks. We got Jitters.
yeah, they drink jitters and smoke Morleys. Um,
Exactly. From Burn Notice, the mom always smoked that. That's not a real cigarette.
it's
It's
the
like,
same cigarette from a brand that they used in X Files, I think, too, didn't they? The
yeah,
the cigarette man Morleys.
I love when they
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Now,
it's fun.
I added these in here. These actually came out a couple of days ago, but we didn't get a chance to do a video on them. Plus, it was just it was a couple of little images. So I thought I'd add them at the end of this. We got to see some kind of newspaper articles that had kind of some of his exploits as Superman in this new movie. Now, I think that's interesting where it says downtown building collapses, no fatalities. Uh, and what could have been a tragic outcome, we see David Cornsweet there. Now the suit
Is now
looks a
is
lot better,
it,
even though it's
I
blurry as fuck.
agree. Is this a different paper? This isn't the Daily Planet, right?
This one is not the Daily Planet. I think it's morning edition. Now you see the
I
little ing edition up at the top left. What reason why I say
well,
that too is if you look at the price of the paper, it says published in Metropolis, it's like $6 and something. If you look at the next image I'm going to show, the fucking Daily Planet's like $8 and something for a newspaper, which is astronomical. Like $8 for
well,
a newspaper.
underneath the article's writer, you see Aaron Morrill. It says Metropolis Eagle. So I was assuming it was maybe Metropolis Eagle, but
I, so
you can't see the
I'm a
top of the
I'm a
paper.
fucking moron. This probably is the morning edition to the paper. That's what's showing up there in the top left because I
Right.
know with the Daily Planet, they're like, oh, we have a morning edition, we have an afternoon edition. Where we live, like even if people do get a paper, we don't have enough going on to barely get one edition a day. So it's not a
Yeah.
thing here. So that's just me being stupid. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so it probably the Metropolis Eagle. But I definitely knew when I looked at the price, I was like, well, that
Yeah.
paper's a lot better price. Then if we go to the next one, um,
Yeah.
we got the Daily
850.
Planet. Yeah, $8.50 for a fucking newspaper. Damn. But we get
This
to
is
see
print.
we get to see him stopping a train and did a little bit better than for those of you who ever watched the movie Hancock with Will Smith, how he stops the train. I definitely agree with his method more. A little more people friendly. But it is kind of cool to see because we see him stopping the train. He is taking care. Obviously, didn't he's always going to take care for humans, just like we saw in the last one. Though no fatalities. Where again, a lot of people had issues with Man of Steel, just how many people and how much destruction there was, how many people got killed. So I don't know if this is a kind of a nod to like, hey, look, no fatalities. We're not going to kill a bunch of innocent people in these movies. Maybe keeping it. I feel like he's kind of fucking with us because it's like sometimes it looks like it's super dark and they're going all broody, bad, like negative Superman. Then other times we're seeing like this stuff where it's the light side of Superman, which is what we were told is what was going to be is more of a lighter Superman and not the dark, brooding Superman of the
Yeah.
Snyderverse. So
Yeah, and I mean you're right. Like this reinforces both of these articles reinforce the superhero saving the day. Superman stops rail, saves lives. Like that's just
iconic, you know.
that's the golden era Superman type stuff, right? Kind of just slid in here. Um But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they showed two different papers, and like, were these pictures just taken off of like just paper that somebody saw on the ground, or like
So the
from
weird
the
thing is
set?
the what it was is, and I pulled them from where I could get them from, and I'll actually have up here what it was. There was the newsstand boxes. You know, you put the dollar and whatever, and pull the handle down.
Mm-hmm.
They were next to each other, and both of these were in like next to each other. So it
Oh,
was kind of
okay.
like you had your Daily Planet, and then I guess you had the
Whatever it
Metropolis
is.
Eagle or whatever. You
Yeah.
had those two next to each other, and like one was like in a yellow and blue or red and blue, whatever. I think it was might have been red and blue Superman. So it had those two together, and those were the papers that were in there. So,
Gotcha.
uh,
So they just kind of took a little pictures they were going by of what was on there. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
so
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
definitely. There's definitely a lot there. Again, this isn't about trying to convince anybody for the suit. We didn't. We never told anybody, "Hey, you have to love the suit." All we said was, let's at least wait until there's a trailer. And
Mm.
people still didn't even like that. Apparently, that's being too close-minded. Just saying to, hey, just maybe give it a chance till we see it live action. Like how's the suit looking, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
there's amazing things that you do in post production. And for those of you who don't create content, especially content with VFX, like you watch a lot of these reaction channels, fuck, even what we do mostly in our channel, it's not even VFX. I just add shit in there and animate it and make it move around and stuff. There's very few times I actually have to go into the Fusion page on DaVinci and start making effects, right? But there's amazing things you can do to obviously we you can't do all of that stuff in real life, and you gotta take out cords and your wires and harness and all that stuff has to be removed in post production. But people still don't want to hear that. So again, I'm not going to try to change anybody's mind. I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to say all this. All we're doing is pointing out what we noticed and areas of the suit that we are still seeing in these set images. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. They'll fix all of this stuff in post. And like I said, we were talking off screen because I work in tech. Like, I wouldn't be even surprised if they have AI that can do this shit now really fast. Like, remove wrinkles from suit, make abs bigger, increase muscle density by 5%, and then just apply it to the whole all the shots and just be done with it. Like, that type of stuff can be done now, I believe. So it's not, you know, I'm not reading anything into this like we said before. Um, I don't know. I guess we could go digging through the archives of how Batman looked in the suit when they were filming, and how Superman looked, or how Henry Cavill looked when they were filming, or how Brandon Routh looked when they were filming. Like,
I did pull up Henry
I mean,
Cavill's when we did the suit video, kind of the Superman suit through the ages. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. It's a great video. I did pull up some where he's on the green screen and they're doing the like he's on the wires and stuff, and that's where I said that suit was so much more skin tight because it was supposed to really and thin because it was supposed to hug over the muscle and the
mm.
metallic abs they had underneath it to give it that giving the
So they went more
metallic look.
practical.
Yeah.
They went more
Um,
practical effects there. Yeah.
so yeah, it was a lot more that to highlight the suit underneath. So it was super skin tight, and you didn't see it bunching up as much as this one. But again, I don't know the
Yeah.
situation. I know they're going to be able to fix it in post. That is just my opinion.
Yeah.
If you disagree with it, hey, great. But I was telling Mantis, we'll wrap it up here. I watched a 2 hour video on doing a 6 second clip and adding all the VFX into it. And this is not at movie level quality. This is just at people who are badass with Da Vinci quality, which is still good. It was still good. All of that goes into adding in the VFX, and there's a reason why filming is going to wrap in July for this movie, and it's not coming out until next July. Now, as Mantis to point out, there are going to be reshoots, obviously, and things, but most of that is still going to be post production work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really kind of surprised at how quick they got through filming.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always cheaper to pay your editors and visual effects artists than it is to pay the actors and everyone else to come back on set and refilm, like reshoot.
Especially if
always
you
going to be
have to
cheaper.
recreate the set like this. They're in a city, right? Like they're in Cleveland.
do
They're
it.
blocking off road. You can't just say, "Oh, wait, we gotta come back and go fuck everything
Yeah.
up again." Build all these sets again. If you watched
Yep.
our He-Man Masters of the Universe video, they had to change the ending of the Masters of the Universe because they'd already dismantled the set.
Like,
So it
yeah.
was kind of like, hey, yeah, okay, well, now we got to do this. So, all right, guys, if you've made it with us this far, we definitely do appreciate it. Consider giving this video a like. He is going to point out as to where, and subscribing to the channel. We definitely do appreciate it. You guys are the reason we do this. Let us know down in the comments. And again, if you want to comment on that you hate the suit, that's fine. We're not going to respond to them just because I don't know how to respond to it. That is in a way that apparently doesn't make me seem like an asshole. Because we've done whatever. Everybody's allowed their opinion, but if we just try to say, hey, be a little patient till a trailer comes out, something, nobody wants to listen to that. So respond, say you hate it, say you hate me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. That's fine. But we really like just to hear people's opinions on what we thought about the suit minus the fit. But, hey, do whatever you want to do. We still appreciate you guys, even if the comments aren't so flattering. And we do thank
Also,
all of our subscribers.
Yeah. Also, if you all know what's going on in these scenes, or you know some links to some other articles we may not have seen that kind of have some rumors about what the film could be about, or particular scenes like this particular scene in Cleveland they're filming. If you all know what's kind of going on here, also definitely comment that below as well, because we're just trying to infer what we think's happening based on the pictures. But if you all know or heard rumors or whatnot, put those in the comments as well, because I would like to know what everyone else thinks about what's going on in all of these pictures.
Maybe you live in the Cleveland area. Maybe you were there. Yeah. You are this person right here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna wrap it. So if you have something to say it now, because I'm gonna end it.
No. It was just about, if you're in the area, go and if you can find a piece of bubble gum wrapper that maybe David Cornsweet used, go grab it and try and sell it on eBay, stalk around their camps or their tents and stuff, and get us some good pictures of what's going on set.
Okay, at least you brought it back, because I'm just gonna have to cut that because that just all sounded stalkery. And then you brought it back, so it's fine. It's fine. It'll work. I'll keep it in there. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it for us here on You, Me, and DC. Until next time, we will see you then.
Later.